So, really excited. Squarespace launched a new feature, I think almost 2 months ago, but I've been traveling. So, I've been really waiting and excited to tell you more about it and to show you how to use it. So, my camera's here, but my screen's here. So, I'm going to turn and you're going to look at me in profile. So, I want to show you a little bit more about it. So, here, so if you go to add a section, you can still see all of the other types of adding a section that you can do, all the other section templates and everything like that. But if you scroll down, you can see these auto sections, and these are for auto banner sections, headlines. So there's only two here. But where it gets really interesting is for auto lists, and you can see how many different variants there are. And this gives you a really good idea of what all this feature can do, because they've already created templates for you out of the same feature over and over again. So there's lots and lots of ideas that you can use here. So go ahead and just put one in here so you can see. And I want to show you a couple different things. So the first is that these are exactly the same section, like they're the exact same functionality. So in here, you can choose whether to have a title, a button for the whole section, if you want the images to show, if you want the titles to show, if you want there to be body text, if you want a button for each section, those kinds of things. You can also add the content here individually. So I want to show you that with the next one, but essentially you can edit the image, the alt text, the actual titles, description, links, etc. here. And you can have up to 6 of these for each item. So you can have up to 6 items for each section. Then in here, you can change loads of things with the design, which we're going to get more into as well. But this same carousel can become a banner slideshow, or it can become a simple list, or you can go back to the carousel that it was. You can determine whether or not you want it to keep scrolling, if you want to show the adjacent sides or not, the ones that are sneaking off to the side. You can decide how you want it to lay out, full or inset. You can choose how large you want the media to be, and no content, right? There's all sorts of things you can do with this. You can change the spacing between each of these other elements. Decide if you want any space between the slides. Right now there's small space. You can see I can make that quite a bit bigger. So you can change each little thing. And then if you click on the little 3 dots in Squarespace, it always gives you more control. So you can have their standardized control, or you can have more control. And so you can see here, I can decide how I want it to be anchored at the top, at the bottom, centered, justified, etc. So there's so much you can do just with that. And you can decide if you want to add more or less. You can do so much, and it's really, really handy. You can turn them into a card and change the color of that card in other settings. You can decide how much padding you want to run that card. Again, you can just customize that even further. You decide if you want there to be arrows on the sides here or not. So there's lots and lots and lots of customization, but the nice thing is once you have the content in, you can change it to whatever design you want, right? You don't have to keep adding those pictures and text in over and over again. It allows you to change things on a whim, which is really handy let's go with this. I created this example in the trial run for this video. So if I go to this, I can decide, okay, I have these services. I want to offer them as a list. I'm going to have a list of these services. It's going to be great. I'm going to center everything. Perfect. Or I can say, okay, well, actually, no, this is going to work better as a carousel for these 3 offerings. And let that go. I can add a service when I have a new service. I can remove services when I have less services, when I maybe have simplified. It works really well for that. It also provides this thing where it's a really common want in Squarespace to have that scrolling header banner on your homepage, right? You want it to scroll and have multiple action items across the top. So they have options for this as well. And to be fair, I could change this exact thing into that. And that's where I had it at first. So I can say it's a banner slideshow. And what I've done here is in the content design settings, I have changed this into a card. And and the reason I've changed it to a card is because then you can read on any background. And I can go in and I can change in here, I can change the colors, which will help me have a different color for that card. I can do lots of things. I can even change these further in the site styles and colors. But for now, I like the look of that. So we're going to go ahead and leave it. And then I might want to fiddle with the padding a little bit more because it's pretty big. So I can change it specifically to each section. Maybe I want less on the sides, depending on what you want to do. And then the other thing you can do once you have this set in is actually text. So right now you can see this, some of it's kind of small. So I could go in and do each of the different texts, or I could say, okay, make everything large or extra large and change it that way. Make everything medium paddinged, right? I can change everything specifically to each thing that I want, or I can go with general settings. And then this will scroll across on your site, and you can turn it on so that infinite scroll show the next slides or not. It's really helpful. And with a little bit of code, you can actually even make this auto scroll. But it's really nice, really easy, and really helpful new feature in Squarespace where you can design in lots of different ways the same content without actually needing to copy and paste all of the copy or change the images over and over again. So you don't need to keep re-uploading them or pulling them from Squarespace's new image library that it keeps all of your past images, which is nice. So that's Squarespace's new feature. Give it a try. Let me know what you think.